Hey you guys, it is TsubakiSwagg and I'm coming to you with my review of Strike the Blood episode 18 Fiesta of the Observer 3. Okay, this episode of course picks up where the last one left off at, where Kojo, Asagi, and Natsuki, aka Sana-chan, are on board the, Dimitri Valter's ship. And Himaragi and Sayaka are on the sidelines because they cannot come onto the ship. And pretty much, long story short, Kojo is, of course, he's kind of like, even though it's gross to say, Kojo's kind of a love interest to Dimitri, because the girl whom he became prognator from was his, like, Dimitri's lover. So in a way, Kojo is like Dimitri's lover. Ew. But pretty much Walter still has a thing for the woman that Kojo once was. That sounds hilarious to say. But so he is like aboard the ship, and there's a guy that's on the ship that looks like he could possibly be trouble sometime soon because he's jealous that Dimitri is so concerned about Kojo. And Kojo is like led through the ship, and he goes to take a bath, change his clothes, and a group of like 5 female hostages come and pretty much tell Kojo that he can have sex with them, and pretty much they can have his babies because their family sold them off to slavery or whatever, and this would be the perfect way to like get back at their family or some weird type stuff. I was like, okay. But Kojo's like, no, don't do that. So they left, but they pretty much told him that if he wanted to come get them, and they'd be ready, but to be careful with them because it'd be their first time. I was like, no, that's not okay. That's never okay. And then in that, Sana-chan and Asagi ran into the bathroom, and Asagi was in a towel and she was all embarrassed and stuff, and they were like sitting back to back or whatever. And of course Asagi was asking him stupid questions like, did he see her, and did he want to see her? And she pretty much asked him, is he gay? Because of how, like, why he would know Dimitri, because of course Asagi doesn't know that Kojo is a vampire, and she doesn't know that he is the 4th prognator. So she is trying to figure out why or how Kojo knows Dimitri, and she thinks that Kojo is like goes that way, which would probably explain in her mind why he hasn't tried anything on her yet. So Asagi is being weird, and Sana-chan is just being cute as always. So they go back to the room or whatever, and Himaragi and Sayaka get pissed because Sayaka used a bird to spy on Kojo and Asagi and Sana because they can't get on the ship, and she got pissed off because Kojo and Asagi and Sana-chan are all sharing a room, and of course we all know that Sayaka has a thing for Kojo, and of course Himaragi has a thing for Kojo, but Sayaka is way more, not necessarily purposely upfront about it, but she's more upfront with hers. And she started blushing and stuff because him and Asagi are sharing a room, and apparently they're so close or whatever. So while they're in the room, Asagi puts Sana-chan to sleep, and Sana-chan, like, all out of nowhere, like, reboots into like Natsuki's backup, like, memory. And she always says Kyun, which is Kyun. And she says Mew, like meow, like Mew from Elfen Lied. And it's just like her backup memory is really cute and little, and she acts like a little kid or whatever, but she explains things, like she explains how because Natsuki's memory was pretty much taken, that she is her backup memory or whatever. And then out of nowhere, Dimitri Valter gets into a fight with one of the other people that escaped from, well, it looks like the last person that escaped from the prison barrier, while Sayaka was fighting the, like, frizzy redheaded dude from earlier. And of course, Sayaka sends him back to the barrier, and while Dimitri is fighting the other dude, who happens to be a dragon slayer, Dimitri gets his butt handed to him at first, and then Dimitri pretty much sends him back to the barrier. And Dimitri was enjoying it way too much. He pretty much destroyed his ship, fighting this dude. And Kojo and Kojo and Asagi and Sana got off the ship with the help of one of the hostages that Dimitri had earlier, and Kojo shaking his hand made Asagi ask him again if he went that way, and Kojo got mad, of course. But they got off the ship, and they met back up with Himaragi and Sayaka, and then they come across Aya, whom is Yuma's mom. And also, Yuuma has left the doctor, whom is Kojo's mom. She has left and like run off, and Kojo's mom pretty much determined that she left and she was going after the Witch of the Void or something to that extent. So Yuma's gone, which means that she has healed at least somewhat enough to be able to leave. And it turns out that Aya, whom is Yuma's mom, actually never wanted Natsuki. She wanted Himaragi, because everyone's powers were pretty much sucked out of the world that Aya created with the Dark Grimmer, which they need to get back to get Natsuki's memory back. And pretty much in the world that she created, everybody's magical power has been taken away except for Himaragi's. And she knew this was going to happen, and she took Himaragi hostage while also stabbing Kojo in the stomach again. So Kojo's down, Sayaka is with Kojo, Himaragi's captured, and so is Natsuki. So things are starting to look real bad right now. But I am looking forward to seeing the next episode. I would love to hear what y'all think is going to happen in the next episode, for those of you who don't read the novels. But as always, please, 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 please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe. And this is TsubakiSwagg saying adios.